Welcome to Glow Up or Get Out. Today we're going to talk about toxic productivity, specifically in the pandemic and in lockdown. I think that there's a lot that has been a lot of pressure there that has been put on to us to start businesses or get our grind on during lockdown and not lazy or that kind of stuff. So toxic productivity, it says, refers to an unhealthy and extreme obsession with productivity. It is never ending, also never enough. It stems from the culture that praises and rewards productivity, which is a very good thing, but not always does it tell us where to draw the line.
I feel like most people can relate to this. Like you were saying, just everything's about starting a business, and if you're not also having a side hustle, even though maybe you have a full-time job or you have multiple part-time jobs, you're still expected to
continue
and find your dream.
Enough. Yeah.
Come on.
I think that this has stemmed. I think that this has stemmed way before COVID, but also there's something to be said about how millennials have been taking this on to themselves. I feel obviously coming from an immigrant background, hard work has always been in my work ethic, and it's always been something that has been taught to me, that you need to have a great work ethic, because if not, you're not going to make it in life, or things aren't going to happen for you. Mm-hmm. But I think that the millennial culture has taken it to a whole other level now. I think it's just honestly probably because of technology and how we have everything at our fingertips.
Going off of that, I feel that's probably the biggest pressure is you always feel well, why am I not taking advantage of what I have? I feel I'm not using what I have wisely, even though I've worked 8 hours today already. It's still not enough.
I think that I think what you said earlier really resonates with having multiple things going on at once. I think that that's really looked after. People really expect that, and they respect it from you, or about you. I feel everyone has this expectation that everyone should be doing everything all the time, and it's exhausting to even, I don't know, I feel I feel we're both definitely in the midst of it, so it's hard to say how not to be.
I feel
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay.
You had a thought.
I feel what you're saying is I think if you see even we're guilty of it, seeing someone who's a business owner and then they post on their story all day or whatever, they take a week off, or oh, you're getting drunk on a Thursday. Which is us. This is still work though, but I see this thing where people on the outside might be you're not, that's not, don't do that, and I guess maybe that's guilt comes in then, where you're maybe I should just quit my dream.
Yeah.
Maybe I should stop chasing my dream and just get a job that everyone else sees as already successful from the get-go, and maybe I'm not happy, but at least society looks at me yeah, you're doing it.
It just feels there's no way out, because I feel at the same time, toxic productivity has been installed into entrepreneurship and the hustle culture, which it's great to go after your dreams and really do everything you can and in your power to make it happen. But there's also something said to be said about how people have taken that to extremes. Now it's if you don't make it on your own, you're not making it, you know? And sometimes that pushes people to really spread themselves really, really thin.
Yeah.
And have a job that already stable enough to make, to live off of. And also then after that having the many other facets of their dreams, which you can have many dreams, and it's difficult to navigate whether or not I don't know, sometimes I just think about how for a lot of people in other countries for a lot of people in other countries doing the bare minimum with work is enough for, because I feel they see it as this is my job to live
and to support my family,
to support myself. Yeah, but then their dreams manifest in other ways of the activities and hobbies that they do, because it no longer they don't put the strain of financial means to their dreams, you know what I mean? I think that it's become really toxic when we think about, what's that phrase, when you do what you love, it's not it shouldn't feel like work or whatever. That's what you should strive for. I mean, I feel work is always going to be work. work. Like I feel like it's never gonna feel like easy or like, I don't know. And then with toxic productivity comes honestly like toxic positivity, and the fact that like you need to be happy about grinding on Monday morning and like just all this other shit, you know, that like is sure, like let's all have a fucking positive mindset, but at the same time, how good is that? Like how good is it to try to pretend to be happy and like hustling every single day? Like I feel like your brain and your life is gonna get tired. We're not equipped to be doing that. I feel like we forgot what being human is about, and it's like now we're just like running like fucking machines and trying to get that goal versus like, do you stop and think about what life is actually about, like the connections you're making? And I'm not talking about networking to like fucking help your business, legitimately the connections you're making with people and with yourself and like with the world. Why are we forgetting that, you know?
I feel like we're just at a point where we constantly, as in like, I'm speaking for you and I, because I mean, I think it is a shared experience amongst a lot of people, but in this current moment, we feel this pressure to constantly be on top of our shit. It's like we bring up one client and then it's like, well, why aren't you doing this with this client? Well, did you also make sure you're doing this? And then like, well, we need to be pitching to at least this many people a week, and then all of them respond, and then the next week we're like absolutely scrambling to get projects done on time.
Yeah.
And we're working for free, so it's like...
I was actually having like a similar conversation with Logan about how this past Monday, when we only like focused on one brand, it felt a lot more, it just felt genuinely like good, because I feel like we didn't scramble to like get different shots for different products and trying to like switch it up every time. I felt like we could literally focus and hone in on like the creativity of this specific brand and what we wanted to bring for this brand, versus trying to get the numbers of how many things we have and like how many shots we got. I mean, we obviously did plan and shoot accordingly, but like at the same time we were like having fun with the product and
it's creatively
being
easy.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't felt creative, I think, since then. Before that, I haven't felt creative at all, actually.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that right now I feel like I'm in the midst of toxic productivity, because I have a full-time job. Like, I don't even want to call it part-time because it's full-time. And also doing this full-time has just been like overwhelming. And so it's kind of hard to have myself be in a place where I need to make money to survive, and then also like trying to be creative and have fun, but also grind. Like I feel like I can do the grind and make money, and then like half-ass like this job, or the other way around, you know? And it's like I can't find the perfect balance. I think the grinding or whatever is like making me feel like I can't explore my creativity anymore. That's what I'm also saying, like the toxic productivity brings out the ugliest in people, where like they don't even feel like themselves anymore. It just seems like you're just trying to roll with the punches just to make it, and it's like, what does that even like give you at the end of the day? You're not happy, you're not creating the life that you wanted. I feel like sometimes all that is like bullshit, and they honestly themselves don't know what they're fucking doing, you know?
Yeah. I feel like also at the end of the day, we never feel like we did enough. It never felt like a productive enough day. Like at the end of the day, you're like, well, I still have 80 things to do this week.
Oh, totally.
And I could have done them if I took a shorter lunch break or whatever, but then it's like, okay, relax. The hustle, I have to say, I feel like it's 10 times harder, obviously because it's called a hustle, but like it's 10 times harder than another job where you just get tasks and you like go with it, and then like you're saying, like you leave it at work and then you come home and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky enough that that's enough money to survive off of, then like perfect.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, it's like you're constantly thinking of what else do we need to be doing, what else can we change, what can we like
what
whatever.
can we do to improve?
Yeah. But it's never enough. That's why I think you see a lot of like influencers being like, oh, like I had to take a couple days off Instagram or whatever. And like I get it. Like I understand. I don't know if a lot of other people would understand, but it's like they're doing the same.
I think it's like going back to a conversation of like staying relevant. Literally staying relevant is toxic productivity.
In a
creative like space, just because you're trying to stay on top of like all of these trends and all of these people that are currently like up and coming. You just want to stay seen, and in order to do that, you literally can't stop. Like you just can't. And I think it's difficult because at this point I feel like toxic productivity is what is rewarded now, and no one stops to think that like maybe this isn't healthy for like society in general, and maybe for these people that are making it. I also think that it shows toxic productivity also like doesn't show like the reality in like a certain way. Just because you're grinding every day, like, sorry to say, you might not make it. It doesn't matter. It just might not be like what you're meant to do. And
you're gonna learn a lot though.
I just hate when people say like put all of your efforts in and you're gonna make it. It's just like, what if you don't?
Yeah, like maybe I'm just supposed to learn something from this and move on and carry into whatever is my actual whatever.
That's a very positive way to put it.
Yeah.
In my head I'm just like, you're
wasting your fucking time.
It's not necessarily that I'm thinking. It's just like, I hate when people bring that into this space.
Putting the false pretense in people's heads is a little bit scammy and like taking advantage of them, but on the top level we understand that it's not a guarantee that you're gonna make it, you know? But in your subconscious you always have that like, well, if I don't make it, then I guess I'm just not good enough, which is worrisome. But it's also like I was saying, I guess, just trying to make it. Maybe that's toxic positivity, I don't know, but like trying to say like, well, if I don't make it, at least I mean, I feel like it's not toxic positivity, just because it's like, well, it is what it is. I'm not gonna.
You're gonna dwell on the fact that it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the end of saying like in your subconscious or your consciousness, like, I don't know, on this whole topic of having society tell you that if you work hard enough, you'll make it, in the sense that if you don't make it, does that mean, I feel like you're gonna be seen that you didn't work hard enough. You know what I mean? No matter how much time and effort you put, like, you didn't do enough.
I mean, sure, even probably like Elon Musk, it's like, well, why, like, I'm sure people are like, well, why haven't you just invented whatever it is? Like, I think no matter how successful you are, you're always gonna have toxic productivity, and maybe it gets worse the more successful you get, because it's like, now my expectations are up here for myself and from other people.
I feel like it depends on what your end goal is, because I feel like, for example, what were we talking about? Oh, there's a company who like got offered a bunch of money to be sold by like a corporation company, and they were offered an amount that basically would allow them to give 10 generations of their family wealth. Because if that was the case, that like, let's say, and obviously
you just
like
want to support your family.
I would literally just be like, bye business.
Yeah, and it's like less of a headache maybe.
Because I feel like I do obviously have dreams. Social media management or social media fucking creativity is not necessarily like my dream. I think it's just a facet of like how to express my dream and how to like have me validate myself and like my creativity, if that makes sense. But necessarily it's not my dream to become the world's greatest social media manager. Like, that's just not my end goal. But like, if I made enough money to support myself and my family for years to come, I think I would stop at one point. And, you know, I did enough, and now I get to live fucking happy and travel and like do the things that I want because I put in the work to like support myself, not necessarily support myself.
I get what
you know what I mean?
I mean, it would be super interesting to see 10 years from now us listen to this podcast and be like, bitch, you're still not giving up or whatever. Because I don't know, I feel like you're just a very driven person, so the idea of you just being like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you'd obviously still do stuff.
I just don't feel like I am tied to the idea that like my success means money anymore. I think my success is my happiness and like doing the things that I like want to do. The simplest things, like I want to travel to fucking Europe and maybe live there for like a couple months. Like, if I could do that, that is my dream. But in order to do that, I need money. So it's not necessarily that my dream is to make money.
Yeah.
It's just like I need the money to do my dreams. So you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think I've reworked my thinking about what success means. Like, I don't
So
want
success
to
is less like you made the most money you could. It's like I worked my ass off to get to go to Europe or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I went on my dream trip this year.
Yeah.
And next year I'm already on track to do that as well, or whatever the case is.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I don't know, and maybe that's just like me being really negative, but I just feel that like work is always going to be work no matter what you're doing. I've never done like a job full time like the one we have currently where like I can support myself doing this and just be happy doing this. So like I wouldn't really know, but I feel like I've worked around many different types of jobs to the point where I feel like a job is really just a job. I'm never truly happy working. I feel like there's this thing that like again,
I don't think people genuinely mean that though.
Girl, I don't know. People try to fucking make it believable.
That's some pyramid scheming.
What I'm saying is that's toxic positivity and productivity. But anyway, again, going with the shit that says like,
what you
do
love
what
and
you
it
love
won't
and
be
feel like
work.
work or whatever. Like, no, girl. Well, first of all, working already isn't part of what I love to do. So.
There's a tweet about that where it's.
Oh, it was like. She said it was this girl. She was like, I don't have a dream job because
I don't dream to work.
I don't dream of working. That's literally me. But I feel like that's literally what people are feeling. But toxic productivity has made them believe that your dream has to be your job. You know what I mean?
I mean, do you think toxic productivity is also in just corporate jobs?
What I've noticed is that, like, I feel like our generation has moved towards, like, being, like, entrepreneurial in spirit and just...
So you mean it's more like the side hustle on top of the corporate job?
Right, but I feel like even in the corporate world, I see my boss currently, like, just fucking working her butt off and, like, emailing at really late hours of the night just to get work done just so that she's ahead of the curve, and it's like, that seems fucking tiring. Why can't we... I don't know. I just think that there's a culture in America that's like, go, 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 and we need to fix it.
I feel like our parents' generation is like, go, 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 retire, do nothing.
Do nothing.
Woo, we made it to the finish line.
And, like, I don't like that either. Like, this is why, like, I'm confused, and I feel like I want to, like, talk about this, because I feel like I am on the spectrum of, like, that I want to enjoy what I'm doing all the time.
Yeah.
But I never have. So, like, I'll enjoy it for a little bit, and then it gets really, like, annoying to me. And I don't know why I'm like this, but I also don't want to live working my entire life to sustain myself and then have all this money piled up at the end when I'm older and, like, enjoy myself later. Like, I'd like to do it currently.
Like, throughout the years.
Throughout the years.
Not just at the end.
Yeah.
Because what if you don't fucking make it there?
Not only that, like, I just feel like with age, there's certain things that you just have to miss out. Yeah, you have to miss out on later in life, you know? I mean, also, that's kind of ageist. Do you think that toxic productivity has also, like, become a bigger issue within women because we went from having no availability to work to now, like, having this mindset that you have to have it all? You have to have a family, you have to have the perfect job, you have to have the perfect self-love, and all this other stuff. It's like a hustle.
I think it's all just overwhelming. Everything, every part of life that you're supposed to have together, like adulting period. I didn't even understand that. I thought, like, turned 18, like, oh, adulting, like, Caesar bitch.
Why can't we just normalize, like, taking naps, you know?
I mean, the pandemic in general has just heightened it, just because everyone's home and it's like, well, then do something with your time.
It literally became like the conversation of, like, all right guys, we're gonna be in lockdown, and then it was like, but make sure that you're not falling behind. Keep your workouts going, keep, like, your meal preps going, keep yourself, like, meditated, and, you know, like, doing all of the things that you couldn't do before, do them now and do them all at the same time. You know what I mean?
So, like, not even just productivity in work, but
productivity in lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I felt like maybe we just all needed to chill. Like, maybe that was the world being like, hey, relax, take a break.
Don't feel it at all, but yes.
But yeah.
I'm like, the world may have been saying it, but I don't
But I've not listened.
I did not listen.
Me.
So, in Glowing Hour, we're going to try and give you some tips to cope with, overcome, whatever, toxic productivity, because it is possible to have some better days.
Yeah.
Maybe toxic productivity will get the best of you sometimes, but I think it's all about balance. So, we'll see ya then.
Welcome back to Glowing Hour. We're going to give you guys some tips on how to avoid toxic productivity, or in general just how we like to cope with it. But yeah, today we are back on our margarita grind hustle.
Hey, if I'm gonna hustle for something, it's for a margarita, right?
Period.
Classic
lime juice, tequila,
Contrao.
I don't know.
I don't know
how to say it. Orange liqueur. A little splash of kombucha to sweeten it. That's basically it.
So, grab a drink and let's talk
Avoiding toxic productivity.
productivity.
We keep wanting to say positivity, although that is a part of...
We said it earlier, like it was.
Yeah, but we're talking about productivity. Anyway, this one was something...
I had said scheduling, and at first I was like, that sounds more stressful. And yes, it does.
Because it kind of sounds like backwards. It sounds like you're gonna avoid toxic productivity with scheduling
like
more activities.
By scheduling things and like having whatever.
Yeah.
But by scheduling, I mean more like kind of like boundaries, like that type of.
Do you mean like setting like time specifically for works? You know what I mean, stuff.
Yeah, that is which we don't even do that, but it's kind of hard for us.
I mean,
because we're more fluid. We're
a little more fluid, but at the same time, I feel like that's something we've been also trying to like accommodate. Like I feel like we've decided to only do filming on one day.
Yeah.
Specifically, like shooting and
like client work is Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by schedule. Like allotting certain activities for certain days.
Or times.
And or maybe it's not like get it done by this day necessarily. If that's like part of the project or whatever, then obviously you gotta get it done that day. But like it's like
exist.
like only if it's like give yourself 2 days or whatever. You can do it on either or, so that way you don't feel so like
stressed.
Yeah. And also saying I'm off by this time, or I at least need to like be off of my phone by this time. Or whatever it is. It's like different for everyone's jobs. So but setting your own boundaries and scheduling accordingly.
The second one we have is becoming comfortable with change, kind of like what you said already. Giving yourself enough time to kind of like accomplish the goal that you're trying to achieve, and like being okay with the fact that if today didn't work out, tomorrow you can pick back up, you know, versus like being upset that you didn't hustle hard enough.
And then working until 1 a.m. to get it done when you really wanted to watch Love Island or something.
That sounds very personal.
Allow yourself to watch Love Island, boo. It's okay.
And along with that, I think we maybe spoke about it a little bit during the main segment, but also getting comfortable with failure in the sense that if, you know, while you're on your grind, like something bad happens and you don't accomplish the goal or you disappoint someone, you know, you failed and that's okay. Like being comfortable with the fact that failure will happen and in reworking your mind, create a space for you to learn versus feeling upset that you
negative.
Yeah, that you did something bad.
And I guess that in turn is avoiding toxic productivity, because it's like instead of you being negative and upset about it, you're just like, okay, like it happened, but tomorrow's a new day. Like I'm not gonna worry about it all night or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But setting aside time for yourself, I think, is major for like just in general, which we talked about, like the toxic productivity in just like lifestyle. Like COVID is an excuse or now time more than ever to set aside time for yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's healthy in general, regardless of your life, your career, the state of the world that we're in, to have time for yourself. So picking something that you enjoy or makes you feel good, like making sure you do that, I think at least once a week. At
the least, I guess, yeah.
Well, because it's like, maybe you have multiple things. Like for me, I'd say like skincare, like doing some sort of like nice pampering thing. Maybe that's on whatever like day I just decide like I'm doing nothing today, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then working out, that's something you enjoy doing.
Yeah, and I also feel like setting aside time for yourself doesn't always have to be an activity, but it also doesn't have to be at the end of like the day when you're trying to relax from being hustling. Like it could be something you do within the day or even beforehand. I feel like I get myself in a space to be more receptive and a lot more like positive in general when I do at least 10 minutes of yoga in the morning. I just feel a little bit better about myself that I give myself that time in the morning to recoup my feeling and set an intention. And I really now have like set the time to do that. I think when I set an intention, I no longer think about like how do I want to feel while I'm working today. It's more of like how do I want the rest of the day to be carried on. Most of the time I like either say like something like I want to feel light, I just want to feel airy, or I want to feel peaceful or positive, and it doesn't necessarily like mean, you know, I want to hustle. Like
your work day is gonna go great. It's just
it's just like I want to have a great day in general, and I want to have I don't want work to affect me in a negative space. You know what I mean?
Right.
So setting a time for yourself in any form that may look like. It could literally just be watching TV, like if that makes you feel good. Like, I like to say I literally like to go brain dead when I watch TV. Like I like to watch reality TV because it makes me go brain dead. To like kind of
just don't have to think about hard things.
Yeah, like I like to just have my brain run on
dopamine of
other people's lives. Like let me just chill for a sec. Again, I'm like I could be doing more productive things, but
that's in my head too. And then I'm like maybe I'll just pick up my iPad and like just scroll through Pinterest while I watch, and then I'm like, fuck, what happened in the last 20 minutes? I was scrolling on Pinterest. Try and catch yourself yourself too. I guess that's another one. Know what your little maybe like personal signs are to where you're like, oh, I can tell I'm trying to get back to work when I don't need to. Like for me, that is going on Pinterest.
That's why I'm saying like things that aren't work necessarily, because okay, this goes with the next thing that I was gonna say is like find activities to do outside of the purpose of work. For example, I also think that like the things that you do for yourself shouldn't be a part at all of your hustle or your grind or your work.
Yeah.
Because, for example, that, like, going on Pinterest to be productive, like, sure, it may feel good, but at the same time, that is work.
Yeah.
If you, like, just decide to do a mask just to do a mask, because I feel like that is also kind of work for us, but, like,
yeah.
If you just decide to do a mask, or take a walk because that feels good, like, those are the things that I feel like you should focus on.
Yeah.
Like, try your best to find an activity that has nothing to do with what you're trying to accomplish.
Like at work or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people also tend, which I'm like very guilty of, and we both are, I feel like we try to find activities that are fun, but then we try to make them into like businesses.
Like how can
it's
we
like
also
why yeah, and it's like why does it have to be like that? Why can't we just do something to have fun or to make us joyful, you know?
Yeah.
I think that that's a boundary that should be set for yourself so that you don't fall into like toxic productivity throughout your entire day and make your entire day about your hustle and grind.
Yeah, I think about that day we went to San Diego. That was like a lot of fun, but I think the whole time we were thinking like, damn, we have to take pics.
Yeah.
Like, we have to make sure we get those product pics. It's like, don't get too drunk, because then you're gonna have to
Totally
take those pics or whatever the case is.
We believe in you. You can do it.
If we can do it, you can do it. So the last tip we have is your self-worth is not derived from your productivity. Put that in your brain. If you can tell yourself nasty things about yourself every day, that you don't look cute or your hair looks funny, whatever, you can tell yourself that your self-worth is not based on what you got done today. Boom! Mic drop! Gotta remind myself that too sometimes though, so don't worry. It's not just everyone else.
I think it's like really difficult to fucking remind yourself of that, but
It is, but you have to.
I think it's just because it's solely because of toxic productivity. Like, we just want to accomplish the most out of our day, and when we don't accomplish those things, it's just like, what the fuck did you do today?
That too, where it's like, I'm only 22 and look at this house I just bought, or I just got myself a new car or something, and it's just like everyone just wants to be that person. It's like also just this rank thing, like, oh, my college friends or my high school friends, like out of all of them, look at where I am in comparison, or like the 10-year reunion.
That's so annoying. I know, honestly.
You're like, well,
But I think that
I
mean, that's separate drama.
I think our accomplishments are just so different from what I used to think I wanted. Like, I feel like I truly am satisfied with where I'm at in life and like what I have learned and accomplished thus far. And I already know like there's a million more things out there for me to learn, and like that's exciting and not scary. And like I don't think it should be this race against maybe people you don't like and maybe people that you do like that are your friends, but like it's just everyone's going at a different pace than you, and that's okay, because like we're all learning different lessons, we're all just going our own way.
I also think that like happiness in itself just speaks louder than what you have accomplished. That's what you want to show off. Like, if you want to show off to some people, your happiness will definitely like shine through better than the things that you have accumulated or the goals you've accomplished. Make sure those things are great, but like at the end of the day, when you're in front of these people and you can genuinely say like, yeah, I am just living my life and having the best time. I've learned so many things and yada yada yada. Like, if you can say that versus them, yeah, I went to this college and then I got this job
and I work 16 hours a day. It's so stressful.
I like never have time for myself, and it's like, okay, cool. Be happy, that'll piss them off. Trust me.
Truly, if you are genuinely happy, people will be like, oh.
They'll be looking at you like.
I think that's all we have for today, though.
We are in the midst of toxic productivity. I'm trying to film this so that we can edit the last one because we had some problems this week.
Yeah.
As well as plan the rest of our weekend to be fun and exciting, but it's like,
and not lose our mind. We hope you guys have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Really put that shit down.
So write down our tips and just put them on your mirror. Just think about them.
And also tell yourself you're much more than the shit you do.
If you have any comments on toxic productivity, let us know. We'd love to discuss. But we'll catch you guys in the next one. We only have a few episodes left of this season, so stay tuned.